Welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. If you're new here, my name's Joanne, and today I'm going to be doing the one bag per brand tag video created by Jenna Quope. And before we get started, if you haven't seen my video from last week, make sure to check it out because I am doing a giveaway right now and you don't want to miss out. So back to this tag video. Basically, Jenna listed 7 luxury brands, including YSL, Gucci, Chanel, Hermes, and I'm gonna have to pick one bag that I don't already own and basically something I would love to add to my collection. So thank you for Classics with a Quirk for tagging me. I will leave both their videos in the description box. And in addition to Jenna's original guidelines, I also wanted to pick bags that were currently on the market. So whether that was a current collection bag or on the pre-loved market. And I also wanted to choose bags that I thought would be additive to my collection. So maybe something that I don't have yet, or maybe a color that I also don't own. So let's get started with the first brand, which I have not talked about much on my channel, and that would be YSL. I actually don't own any bags from YSL, and that's probably because I don't love any bag enough to want to spend the money on YSL. So I do think the YSL logo is very beautiful, and I think their leather quality is probably pretty good as well. I just felt like a lot of their shoulder or flap bags were a version of the Chanel Classic Flap, and I didn't think anything was too original or, just caught my attention enough. Well, for this tag video, I looked through their entire website and I decided that my bag for YSL would be their Toy Lulu bag. I actually think this is a pretty cute bag and it's just large enough to be useful to hold all of the essentials. But I do like the pattern. I think the puffiness is kind of cute. And I imagine I would want this in their neutral beige so that I could use it in both like summer and winter. And I do just love how small and compact it is. So moving on to another brand that I don't currently own, and that would be Gucci. So I've talked about wanting a Gucci Dionysus bag before, and for this challenge, I did go through their entire website to see if there was anything that appealed to me. The Marmont shoulder bag never really appealed to me, although I am a huge fan of the chevron, so I actually was a little bit enticed by the Gigi Marmont Matalassi mini bag in the pink. I think that's really beautiful. But I went back to the Dionysus collection and the all black leather mini chain Dionysus really caught my eye. So it still has that iconic hardware on the front, but I feel like the all black leather makes it look really classy. I think this would be a great alternative to the Chanel Walk. And I like the fact that it doesn't have any canvas because even though I think the Gucci canvas is very iconic, it's very classic, I feel like it goes in and out of style and it can kind of look older in some years than others. Moving on to the next brand, Celine, which I have also never talked about on here, I don't think. Celine is also an interesting brand to me. I think they have some really great classic roots, some really elegant silhouettes, but more recently, I feel like their designs and their bags haven't appealed because they've been a bit more trendy or they're trying out different things, and I feel like they're just kind of experimenting and nothing has been so like classic that I would actually want to own. But right now there is actually one Celine bag that has really caught my eye. I saw it on one of my friends and then my sister actually bought one as well, and that would be the small cabas or cabas Phantom in like a neutral charcoal color. Again, as I'm thinking about the bags that I would want to add to my collection, I want things that can last a very long time, that wouldn't look outdated or trendy. So this bag I think is very clean and simple, and that helps it not look too dated or, following any certain trend at a certain time. And I think it just looks like a really great work tote. I would feel comfortable carrying this to any meeting because it's not super flashy with like lots of logos on it. A lot of people probably wouldn't even know it's a Celine bag. So that's why I think it would be a good choice. Before we move on to some brands that I have talked about a lot on here, if you like what you hear, please consider liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you can join me on this luxury journey. Every week, I upload videos about luxury handbags and other luxury lifestyle products to hopefully give you some really good tips. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of those tips. Now, moving on to one of my favorite brands, Chanel. Chanel was a hard one to pick just one bag because I have talked about liking their Deauville tote, wanting a boy bag. Then I think about the Walk, all beautiful bags that I don't own. In their most recent collection, they also had this gold leather, which I was really attracted to. But finally, I decided if I was just going to add one Chanel bag to my current collection, I would have to go with a small boy. So the boy bags are now pretty classic. They continue to come out with new styles every season. And I feel like a boy bag would just inject a bit of fun into my current collection. So I've talked about wanting like a light pink one before, or right now they have like a really beautiful turquoise one, but it's a little bit more edgy than my current style and my current bag. So I think that a boy would help diversify my collection. So that's why I think that's the right pick. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Moving on to Dior, I have definitely expressed in this channel how much I don't like the Lady Dior bag. So that was easy to kind of rule out. And I also know I would not want a saddle bag, even though I do think it's very classic, it's iconic. I wouldn't find it that useful in my collection because I don't like, how difficult it is to fit stuff in that shape. On the other hand, I've also talked about how I would like to have a Dior book tote. Because of the artistry of the embroidery, I think that makes it a work of art, even though I don't think that bag is really practical just because it would be hard to keep clean, and I'm sure the fabric would, start wearing and tearing a lot quicker than a leather bag. But I do like the fact that they came out with a smaller version. So the book tote in the small size, I think, is a little bit more practical. I don't know if I can imagine actually using it though, because I would be worried about it getting dirty, especially if I traveled with one. I think in that case, I would really have to fall in love with that particular embroidered pattern on a specific bag. So maybe this floral pattern that they came out with in one of their latest collections, I thought that was really beautiful, but I wouldn't want one in the regular oblique. I think I would get sick of it, even though I do think it is a gorgeous pattern. And I don't like their like classic embroidered thing just because I'm not a huge fan of tigers, and I don't know if I would want to be carrying one around all the time. So there's that option, but I've also been quite a fan of their Diorama flat bag. Even though this bag has actually been discontinued for a while, I remember when it first came out, it always caught my eye. When I went to the Woodbury outlet mall, they had them there, so I'm sure that they are still selling them in certain channels, and I would not be opposed to buying one if, I really had to pick a bag from the Dior brand. I think I would be happy with that. I feel like it's their version of like a Chanel classic or Chanel boy, with it having such a similar structure, but it is very pretty. I think they make it in like a shiny material, and I think the buckle is beautiful as well. So is that my pick? I don't know. Did I kind of do a tie for Dior? Maybe. Let me know which one you would pick. So now to the last two iconic brands in this tag video. One is LV and one is Hermes. Let's start with Hermes because this was actually very easy for me. And that is because I have been thinking and dreaming and contemplating about which Birkin would be my perfect Birkin if I was to go to an Hermes store and to ask for this, what would I ask for? And I've been thinking about it for a few months now, and I decided that I would want a Birkin in like one of their gray colors, so either a gris or an Etan. And I would prefer a palladium hardware, but I wouldn't be opposed to gold hardware if that's the only combination they had. I would definitely want a 30. I decided a 25 would be too small because I definitely would want it to fit over my arms. And I would want it in a lighter leather such as Swift or Epson, but that would be the ideal Hermes bag. And finally, LV, which was the hardest one for me to pick just one bag because I think that they have a wonderful selection of really awesome, beautiful, elegant bags. I have talked about how I still wanted to add something in the Damier Azure canvas to my collection. So I always imagined that in like a Neverfull maybe. Now they've come out with a Neverfull in Empreinte leather, and just the thought of that makes me excited, even though, you know, I've never held it, I've never seen it in person. I think that's a really good combination, although I do have a lot of totes, so then it's like, I don't know if that shape would be super additive to my current collection. So ultimately, after browsing their website for hours and hours, I decided that I would want one of their capucines. And I would want a capucine in something more fun. So they have some really cute patterns now, or maybe something in a bright color. I think the capucine silhouette is very classic and long-lasting, so it's great to have that timeless silhouette. But I also have a lot of those kind of bags in my collection already, so I want to inject, again, like the Chanel boy bag, something a little bit more fun. And they have so many different combinations and designs of the capucine right now. I think it would be easy to pick one that I love and could be appreciated in my collection for a long time. So there you have it, 7 bags for 7 brands. Some of these are very hard, some of these are very easy. Thank you again for watching, you guys. Make sure to subscribe and enter the giveaway if you haven't already. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!